and I wasn't able to stream last week just because I apparently violated some rules. So, with that being said, moving forward, I'm not going to be showing um, the references that I'm going to be drawing. Let me just double check here. Yeah. Okay, just double checking what I'm not allowed to do. So it seems like I could draw. I can draw specific things, but I just cannot show it on stream. So yeah. So let's get to it. We're on day 7 on week 19. Uh, and I have the receipts here. Just all the drawings that I have done over the week. Even though I didn't stream it, I was still drawing it. So let's go ahead and close that. All right. So once again, the references are going to be off screen, unfortunately. But that's just how it goes. But hey, you can still follow along. You can still, join me. You would just have to have your own references, or you can just pretty much copy off of whatever sketches that I draw. Totally up to you. I'm gonna get my clock out here. But that being said, I do have a new image to draw for this week. So I may come back later and just go ahead and stream that live. So if you're interested in that, make sure to leave a follow, keep notifications on, and you will know when I come on to work on my new piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Got two minutes. Just pretty much make a sketch. So the objective here, the exercise here, is to just give yourself 2 minutes and just replicate a reference of your choice. Square here, square there. And just really practice getting the forms. the human body forms in. And this is, this is the kind of practice that is going to get you to be able to draw realistically, or just draw humans in general, or well, pretty much anything, right? If you want to draw whatever it is that you're focusing on, you just gotta you have to be able to just take it apart into different shapes and form it together to create the whole piece. Okay, that's 2 minutes. I'm gonna move on to the next one. So the references that I'm using is they're just kind of like dynamic, actiony references of a character swinging like a sword or a staff, just kind of using a weapon. There's a hand. See, so this lake here is actually a bit smaller, very, very off in the distance. There you go. Got a cool sword here. Alright, 2 minutes are up. I'm gonna move this up here. I'm gonna start again. So yeah, just be really, don't have to be too detailed. And the thing about drawing is like if you're not used to sketching, doing sketches, then you're probably just used to like every time you start a piece of artwork, it has to be completed. You're aiming for like, the vision in your head to be implemented on your page, and it's gotta go perfect, right? Can't have any mistakes. But the thing about sketching is that it's all loose. You're not worried about mistakes. You're just more focused on creating the figure. And there's just so much to learn while you're doing this kind of thing. A lot of things to figure out, right? Like, most people have trouble. Well, I don't want to say most people because I wouldn't actually understand the demographic, but I will say for me at least, uh, one of my biggest struggles is just creating like a mannequin, right? Like the figure itself. Like, how do I build the figure? how do I build the figure, right? And I always like the way I think of it. I guess just because like growing up, I've always like uh, played with like action figures, or like I've had like the model toys that you'd have to build piece by piece, right? Did I ever start the timer? I did. Okay, finished. And I just got so used to like the way the toys are put together, and that's just kind of how my mannequin ends up being like. That's when I think of when I do a mannequin. So that's just kind of like where I am in terms of like comfort. But if you ever watch like a big professional artist sketch up a mannequin, there's always like specific things that they go for. But in order to achieve that, that comes with the practice and the experience of just doing figure drawing and just sketching from reference and just building and just figuring out what works best for you. All right, did that in the 2 minutes. Hmm. Okay, let's finish making the arm here. Okay. Oh, 2 minutes was up. I didn't even notice. All right, next. Got a little extra here, actually. Go. All right, and that's our first 6 sketches. Let's keep it going though. We just started. So just if you're new, normally so far for this week at least, I've been doing. Well, I don't want to say this week, but I've been doing 2-minute sketches. You can go ahead and join me and also sketch as well. The goal here is just to motivate you just to get into the swing of things, whether you feel art block or you just not in the mood to draw. I just feel it always helps when we all sit down and we draw together and have a nice productive time together. So yeah, feel free to join me, chat, or draw as well. And I'm going to be here for about almost 3 hours. I would say 2 hours and a half, just sketching and practicing to learn the human figure. Just practicing all the shape language and these components that create these characters. Just kind of getting the muscle memory, So for here, I'm sorry, I'm just drawing out the skeleton just to kind of make it make sense to me here. Okay. And then this is the link here. Okay. Which is, that takes anatomy and knowledge, which I recommend everyone to do. Just get a medical book, sit down, and just kind of learn. And who knows, maybe you might want to be a biologist or something. Well, hey, listen, as an artist, I found it a fun time. I thought it was very interesting to learn all these scientific things. But part of being an artist is understanding what it is that you're drawing. The better you understand how things are put together, the more capable you are at drawing them and constructing them on a piece of paper, right? Like, just trying to think of an example. Thinking and drawing is hard. Just trying to. Because the normal example I use is not appropriate for all audiences. That's why. So I'm just trying to come up with a new one. I guess. Oh, you know what? We can use a chair. Yeah, I'm just gonna use a chair. So it's like if you wanted to draw a chair, right? If you knew how to assemble a chair and all the parts that go into making the chair, you'd be able to draw the chair and visualize the chair in an empty space, right? And I'm using chairs as an example because I have a hard time drawing chairs. But that wasn't until I learned how it's constructed, right? And stuff like that actually really helps. And you start with these little shapes that overlap each other, and then the form just starts to become more simplified, better to digest and understand. I got this line wrong here. It's like, it's right. It's actually right between the face. Sorry. Bam. Okay. And then it ends at the toes. And making these little distinctions is important as well. All right. And there goes the time. 2 minutes are up. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next sketch. Starting 2 minutes on the clock. No, but yeah. So that would be just like an example of just putting things together. And I'm just like regurgitating stuff that I learned from other people, right? Like you can go anywhere else and they will tell you the same thing. You know, if you're able to take it apart and put it together, you can draw it very well. You can just disassemble it, put all the parts and the shapes, and just put it all down on paper. And then bam, like magic, like scientific magic, it just all comes together. How much time is left? Oh, we finished. I finished it early. All right, let's go ahead and start on the next sketch. Okay. Alright, we're done with this one. Yep, there goes the time. Perfect. So once again, as I do every time, I start with the head. Get a nice circle for the head. I do the crosses just so I know where the face is looking at, and now the arm is in front of the face here. So now I'm just drawing that cylinder, establishing the elbow here, drawing the other cylinder in perspective. And I say in perspective because it's foreshortened, and then here we got the shoulder behind it. And then some of the back muscles here. And then here's the torso. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Just kind of drawing the lines in where these things just kind of connect and stretch. Alright, and there goes the clock. Time's up. 2 minutes is up. Da, da, da. Let's move this over here. All right, and we're going to start on the next drawing. Interesting. And as I said before, the measurements matter too, right? If you want to draw stuff and make it sure it's proportionate, you've got to draw the circles. And you got to measure it by how many heads, right? So what do I mean by that? When you're drawing a human, right, typically there are artists out there who measure the height of the characters, right? And we use like a head chart to measure a character's height. So if I'm remember, I could be wrong, but if I remember this correctly, the average adult is about 7 heads high. And that is if you wanted to draw like a normal adult character. But If you want to draw like someone on the younger side, like a child character, it would be about 5 heads tall. I'm gonna start. Did I start? Yeah, 2 minutes on the new sketch. Yeah, that character would be 5 heads tall. And then if you wanted to draw like a baby, a little infant child, that is gonna be about 3 heads tall. And that's usually like the metric that is used. Now you don't always have to follow it, right? If your specific character is just taller than the average, person in that class, in that age group, then you can, go ahead and draw them taller. Use more heads in the chart and make them taller than they have to be. But, just generally, that's just the kind of general metric that is used when drawing characters, So for the current comic that I'm working on, they're all young adults. So I've been using the 7 heads chart recently, like very often, to create those characters in every panel. To make them look like, they all fit. And, getting the size of your characters right is very important. Maybe you've done some drawings and you drew characters next to each other. And it's like, wait, this character is too tall versus the other one, right? You made this character too short versus the other characters. And it's, it can happen. Sometimes we just get so caught up in the details in our drawings that we just miss that important part. But this is about here. No. But yeah, it tends to happen. And hey, I will tell you that has happened to me a lot. And I know it just seems annoying and it seems more work, but trust me, it's gonna help you. Just create like lines for a head chart and just kind of work with that. Especially like it's a lot easier when you're working digital. Like if you're on traditional paper, right? If you don't have a device and you're drawing on a regular paper, like a blank paper, then I can understand if it's difficult. You're gonna have to like get a ruler and you have to really measure that stuff out. I would recommend if you're gonna practice, just get a notebook, just for practice purposes, and just only draw, do your sketches in a notebook, and you use the lines from the loose leaf paper as a chart. So, granted, you'll be stuck like drawing the characters in a particular distance, and I say distance because, let's say, for example, with my 2 sketches here so far, right? One sketch is bigger than the other, so then we have this implication that this person right here that I'm drawing currently is closer than this person over here, which is smaller. And that's how space is determined on the paper. So if you use the loose leaf trick, you don't have to make lines and you have a chart right there to use, but they're all going to be stuck within the same plane of distance, which is fine because overall, my advice to you was just to do that, just to get into the swing of things, to practice, to just understand how the chart works. So that way you can implement that freely on other mediums. I made this thigh too long. Make it smaller. Okay, and just draw the line so we can see where the stick is. I think that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun, right? Yeah. It's like you can see the sketches slowly move. Okay. One, two, three. So I'm still not sure I'm accurate because, like, my drawings don't always come out perfect when I do this. But as I draw, characters who are 7 head talls, I see that I start to see, what I noticed whenever I copy from reference. The people who are 7 heads tall. Um, after 3 heads, you kind of hit the end of the rib cage, which is like, to me, is like a landmark when it comes to like creating the other shapes of the body. But I've done it before on some of my other drawings, and it just didn't really work out. So that's why I'm just a little finicky about that. I'm still trying it out, but yeah. And even if it's not true, right? I think what I might end up doing in the long run is just adapting it as like a stylistic choice. So it's like, hey, I know it's wrong, but all my drawings, I always end the torso at 3 heads. So that's just what I'm gonna do. It doesn't have to be accurate, but all my characters will look like this, and they will all share that attribute, and then all that will be cohesive when drawing my characters. And when it's cohesive, and it's a technique that you repeatedly does, it's considered part of your style. Okay. Up, time's up. Kind of feels like I'm drawing an Avatar character, swinging a pole around. All right. Okay. Just drawing it like an action figure toy here. I mean, if you really want to, I would even recommend, if you do have action figures at home, to use them as a reference, like a little model, a mannequin model, and practice those if you really want to. I mean, I think that's viable. I used to have, before I had this program, I used to have whatchamacallit. I used to have a little figure that I used to reference. But again, it just felt like every other action figure that I had. So I don't know why I felt like buying like an art specific one would help. Um, I guess it's just more for the like ability to just change its arms and its limbs around, right? The limbs and the wrist and all those body parts that rotate on the figure. Because some of these action figures are pretty stiff, right? You can't really move them around and adjust them, which is totally understandable. But hey, man, they've evolved over the years. So at least the stuff I ended up buying later had interchangeable. Like, even if you could even take the pieces off, right? You can change the hands to different pieces. Okay, little tiny stick here, just because we don't have space. Well, the whole thing. All right. All right. Let's get on to the next one. Hang on, let me just double check my last pose. Okay, yeah, I drew this. Okay. Don't forget to save. We don't want to have another accident. Because I'm about to go into the 1 hour bracket. So I don't want to lose an hour of work. So I already went ahead and saved. Which is don't always depend on autosave. It's not a perfect feature. It's better, like, autosave discourages you from actually manually saving, but you should actually be saving manually quite often with your work. Only under specific circumstances shouldn't you, like, always save, right? And that's if you're doing, it's just there's specific reasons. Unless you have like a really special reason to not save, you should be saving all the time, so you don't lose work, right? Because we spend a lot of time putting stuff down on paper. It's like if you were working traditionally and suddenly it just rained through your ceiling magically, and now your your drawing is ruined, and you have to start all over after spending the whole day working on it. Wow, I did all that in one line? No way. Man, sometimes I just hit the undo button and I just get so surprised at like how far I've gone with just drawing stuff and just not picking up the pen. Alright, the 2 minutes are up. Move this to a corner. Okay. Alright. I was looking into some of the other things, other features that I can use for streaming. I'll start executing them pretty soon. Just didn't really have time to do it today after the last weekend. Pretty busy weekend, for me at least. Transform. Alright, next drawing. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Ends up going into a super strong curve here. Very weird shape here. There we go. Kind of comes over here. We can set it. Sorry, I know you guys can't see the reference, but I can see the knee there. And I just kind of missed it. Oh, whoops. Whoops. Alright. Oh boy. I don't even know why I'm being so critical with that, but see, look, I'm not even gonna take the whole line. Hey, time ran out just in time. Alright. Let's move on to the next one. Alright. Sorry, I started the clock, I didn't even start. Okay. Okay. Oh, battery dying. 1 second. There you go. Okay. One, two, three. Oh, okay. Ribcage kind of ends over here. There's Merce. All right. All right. Let's move on to the next sketch. 2 minutes. And we're at the 5th layer. That means after this, I'm halfway there. And that's 202. So yeah, so it's the whole mathematically if you count it out, it's 60 poses 2 minutes equals to about 2 hours. But then there's all the stuff that I do in between that kind of like carries over. So kind of ends up being like 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on how much time I spent in between each drawing. Hmm. One, two, three. Okay, kind of eyeballed it there. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Simple shapes here. Go. Okay, so just kind of want to establish the direction and space this is in. Now we've got the delts here. Alright, 2 minutes again. Alright, the next pose is kind of in that same position, with the biggest difference being the arms. So once again, I'm just going to draw this box for the torso. Then we're going to split it in half. And let's do this little cone here. Alright, this one came out slightly wrong. Got the character leaning it too forward. Alright, 2 minutes again. Let's move on to the next pose. Okay. Two, one, bam. All right, 2 minutes again on the clock. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna go draw through the arm here, just so I can connect it to the shoulder, just for it to make sense to me. It's gotta make sense. Oh, whoops. Okay. Two minutes are up. Just gonna make it smaller, give myself space for this, the sixth drawing. Okay. All right. No, hang on. Sorry, it's just this pose has just so much movement into it. I just want to capture that real quick. I just kind of this. Just wanted to ground the feet here, just because that's where all the weight is. No, I failed. We took it. I took an L. I took an L this one. All right. All right. I'll tell you right now, that's where it should have been. Yeah. Something like this. Just get that. Bam. All right. Okay. Number 66. Halfway there. Let me just take a small little break. Ugh. Let me just flex my hand, rotate it a bit. You know, you don't want to be drawing for too long without giving your body a break. All right. Let's get back to it. 2 minutes on the clock. And once again, okay, I get to try this pose again. So that's cool. Because now I can really try to get this sense of movement. So I'm going to really play with the shapes here. Okay. And I'll get that stretch up here with the arm. And then I'm going to connect with the other hand here. I'm actually going to work my way back down to the shoulder here and connect it with the torso. There we go. And now off in the distance over here, we're going to create the other leg, which is very foreshortened. Alright, and that's the 2 minutes. Let me just kind of fix this right here. Okay. And, you know, all the weight is on this foot here. All the weight is on this foot. So I'm going to start with the head again. Tilt. And bones are, we're going to make a V shape here for the bones. And once again, all the weight is on this foot. So it looks like the center here. If I made a line to visualize that, there you go. Actually, let me just do this. There you go. And then we got raised arms here, which are always difficult for me for some reason. And the pole here is pretty almost straight. It's kind of slanted here. Now I'm going to make that connection with the other hand. Oh, there goes my 2 minutes. And I'd even got the other leg. I took another L. Okay. So for the next pose, we're still somewhat in the same pose, but now the torso is rotating. But all the weight is still on this leg here. I'm just kind of create that line here. Alright, foot at the distance. Alright. Okay, deltoids here, raised arm here. Right, so kind of swinging this pole or staff around. And the arm, this arm is under it. All right. 1, 2, 3. So this would be somewhat. Just alright. Sorry. Maybe I'm defining it a little too much. But. See. And if you add lines to the ends, you can kind of get that impression that it's spinning, huh? Anyways, to the next sketch. Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay. Oh, time up. All right, 2 minutes for the next one. Okay. All right. There you go. Okay. Once again. All the weight's on the foot. We're gonna put the pole, well, literally like that, in perspective. Okay. Go. Okay. All right. To the next one. I'm just paying attention to where the weight is on my reference each time. Okay, okay, okay. Alright, we got some foreshortening back here. There we go. I think I gotta, yeah. There you go. Whoa, 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 whoa. There you go. Move that up. Alright. Move on to the next pose. And, you know, again, all the weight is on this foot here. Just always like an important thing to keep in mind. To just, you know, kind of understand that gravity is a thing, and the way the body moves is relative to where all the weight is centered. Okay. 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 To the next drawing. It's got this nice motion here. Okay, so the torso's moving, right? But the pelvis area is still staying in that one spot, carrying all of the weight here. And, you know, understanding this is especially important in animation. Especially important in animation. Whoop. thing. You can just see it all happen right next to each other right here. Right, just little by little, changing the upper torso up here. Let's see, is there more? Yep, the motion continues on the next pulse. Okay, so we're gonna continue that motion here. I'm just gonna create these little circles just so I understand the direction that the torso is moving in. It's kind of getting squished. It's kind of coming like above, like we're looking at it like as if it was an above angle. And now as the weight is getting shifted, some of that's going over here to this foot. Now I'm going to make the connection to the shoulder here. Really twisted here. Look at that. Wow. I mean, you can't look at the... you can't see the reference. Sorry, I'm just really impressed here. But yeah, you get all that flexion here. That stretch into this arm. And now the other arm disappears actually here. So I'm actually going to erase that. And I'll just kind of create that pole here. All right. Okay. See, now the hips are actually moving here. All right, circle for the shoulder here. Gonna have the arm into the hand. Okay, wow, finished that pretty early. Three, two, one. I'm letting the clock run out just in case, you know, you, the viewer, are still drawing. The 2 minutes are up, and now we're starting on the next sketch. Don't delay now. Okay. So now I'm looking at my reference and there seems to be now this character is shifting back to, so the direction was going here. Now the direction's coming back. There's the hand. Okay. So now we can see the arm again. Okay. Just in time. Alright, 2 minutes are up. Starting 2 minutes again. Gonna move on to the next sketch. Okay, so now have this weird range. I'm gonna create the lines here because now the torso is moving back up. And this is why it's very important to break the body down into shapes. Makes this whole process a lot easier. Makes it a lot more simple. All right. Oh, 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And that's 2 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer for the next drawing. And again, you don't have to do as much sketches as I have to do, right? This is just my quota, but you can just do whatever goal you want to set yourself to do. If you just want to do 20 sketches, that's fine too. Take it easy, especially if you just started. If you finish, you can just chill and just kind of maybe watch and absorb what I'm doing. Shoulder here, arm here. Okay. Now I'm just kind of filling in some more details. And that's the 2 minute mark. 2 minutes are up. So let's stop drawing here and let's move on to the next sketch. Okay. Huh. All right. The staff is right here. All right, that's time. All right, 2 minutes on the clock. Moving on to the next sketch. Hmm. Let me see. All the points are converging here. Yep, 2 minutes are up. Time to stop drawing. Bam. Just one more line. Just one more line. Okay. Whether you like your sketch or not, it's time to move on. The next 2 minutes are starting. Move on to the next sketch, and we must learn from our mistakes on the previous sketch. Well, I definitely messed up here, but hey, that's how it goes. I'm gonna move on to the next sketch. So now, new 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna fix the arm over here. All right. 1, 2, 3. I got a foot right here. Oh, and that's time. 2 minutes are up. Whew. All right, 2 more layers to go. Okay, let's Starting 2 minutes on the clock. We're at the home stretch here. One, two, three. Okay. Okay. Stuff. Got this little lean over here. Okay, 2 minutes for the next pose. All right. Okay. Just kind of creating the, try to understand the dimension that I'm here right now. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. 2 minutes are up. And now 2 minutes, start again. New sketch. Feel like I'm getting a lot faster at this. Okay. Okay. Mm. Okay. All right. Two minutes. All right. Now for the next 2 minutes. Okay. No. So elbow here. Into the hand. No, the stick is gonna put it all together. Bam. One, two, three. Yeah. Seems about right. Okay. Start the timer for the next sketch. Ooh, interesting. All right. So we're still moving. This character is still moving from the last pose, but now we've got this very interesting angle here. Okay. The box is definitely looking like this. There you go. Like way past 120 degrees here. Oh yeah. If you thought you can do art without math, you were wrong. So much math in art. So you better pay attention in math class. Especially when you're dealing with shapes and angles. Oh, I see. This box is in fact the other hand. So this hand is hidden behind this hand. Here. This is gonna go into the shoulder here. Two minutes are up. Okay. And now 2 minutes are starting for the next drawing. Let's draw, let's draw, let's draw. All right, 2 minutes are up. I totally failed to complete this in the 2-minute limit. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of block in these shapes. Okay. All right. Now we're at the last layer. So it's sprint time. Let's go. 12 minutes, 6 more sketches, and it's all over. Oh my gosh, I'm already off to a terrible start. All right. Okay. Oh, we totally messed up here. Okay. Two minutes are up. Let's go. Sprint, sprint, sprint. We're almost there. Now, normally, when I get to this point, my hands are freaking hurting like crazy. But right now, no, it's not. So my guess is that, after drawing for all these weeks, I just, now my arm and my hand can handle it. Which feels pretty cool, not gonna lie. But yeah, it's human body is an amazing thing. You train it, and it's able to perform the way you want it to. Do things properly. And properly is the key word because you got to be able to build up to it. You can't just, you know, do it, right? And the example I always give is kind of like, you don't just walk into a gym and just be like, man, that guy can bench 200. I'm gonna go straight up do 200 and expect, to be able to perform. Nah, the person who's benching 200 had to start smaller, right? And that person eventually worked their way up there. And the same thing goes for art. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's time. That's our 2 minutes. And we're sprinting it out here. Moving straight into the next one. But now, yeah, just always remember to set your expectations appropriately, right? Like, if you don't ever do figure drawing at all, I'm not expecting you to be doing exactly what I'm doing. But, again, just start off small. Do like 5 drawings. Start off with 5 drawings. And then tomorrow, you do 5 drawings and just do it for a bit. And then maybe like after a week or two, you want to challenge yourself a little more? Up it up, right? Do a little more. And then you just do little by little increments and just be patient with yourself. And that's like really important. You got to be patient. A lot of the times I see artists just get really impatient. They just they want to make masterpieces in like 2 hours. But all that takes a lot of time and practice behind it to even be able to achieve something like that. So you got to put the time in and the practice, and the patience is a very, very, very important thing. You got to allow yourself to have time to get better. You know, it's not a man. I was able to get in the first shot, so I guess I'm not talented. I'm just not cut off for this. No, that's not how it works. So, yeah, start off small, and you want to be motivated. You feel like you need to have somebody with you to do it. That's what I'm here for. All right, 2 minutes are up, and I'm moving on to the next drawing. And yeah, another key thing that I said earlier, gotta do it all the time. I got some pretty, when I tell people I draw every day, I get some pretty crazy reactions. Well, I don't want to say crazy, but they just think I'm crazy. That's kind of the reaction that I get. But no, yeah, I really do draw every day. And I do it because I think it's important to be able to just continuously visualize the space on paper and just jotting down all that information in real time and training your ability to decipher shapes and whatever it is you're referencing, right? And just kind of visualize it and illustrate it. Like, there's just so much to this stuff. Like, there's so much. You can be training every day, and I don't think it's enough to learn everything, right? So that's like more of my reasoning to just keep drawing all of the time, just to get as much as I can out of it. And I finished a little early, so I'm just gonna spend a little more time just kind of like identifying the values of the shapes here. Got about 20 seconds left. This is the shoulder blade here. Oh, all right, and that's the 2 minutes. I'm sprinting. I'm running. 2 more drawings left. We're almost there, almost at the finish line. And I feel great because just last week, if you were, well, I don't want to say last week because I wasn't on last week due to the strike, but 2 weeks ago, if you were following me then, and you stayed all the way at the end of the video or the stream, you heard me complaining about how much my arm hurt. But that is not the case today, and I'm feeling really good about that. Like, my arm feels freaking perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. But as I said before, if you do find yourself hurting, be more careful than I am. I think I was pretty, upon reflection, I think it's pretty reckless of me to just keep pushing and drawing, even if my wrist and my arm was hurting, just because, in this field, you are in danger of injuring yourself. So just please be careful. Take a break if you're in pain. Don't, that if there's one thing that I'm saying, don't copy me, and it's that's like me being a bad example right there. So yeah. Shoulder blade is right here. And then we've got this. Oh, okay. All right, 2 minutes are over. This is the final 2 minutes. This is it. One last drawing. Man, I've done so many drawings today with just this one leg, just holding the weight of the whole body, all the way in the front. All right. Feeling really good about that one. And that's time. Whew. All right. And that's all 60 drawings. And that is day 7. So that completes another week of sketches. And once again, it's not over. Starting tomorrow, I will start a new week. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and get that full. Look at all these drawings. I'm going to group this into one folder. It's going to be day 7. Now I'm just going to, bam, look how dense. Look how dense all of these sketches. Just created these 6 big blobs. Just because I'm always drawing in 6 different areas of the canvas. But no, yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and save it, and now I'm gonna save as week 20. We're gonna delete all this because now this is a new file, and then I'll be back tomorrow to start day 1. Yeah. Finished a lot faster than I thought. Usually the stream lasts for about 3 hours, but we got 2 hours and 30 minutes, so that's great. All right, awesome. Okay, so with that being said, thank you if you stuck with me to the end. Thank you for joining me. Hope you learned something. Hope you've got motivated to just get drawing already. I want to be a good example to you, the viewer, to show you that, hey, you're not the only one who has to practice and draw a whole bunch of sketches and do all the work in order to become better at art. We all got to do it. So, in my head, it's more fun to just do it all together. So yeah, hope you guys got something out of it. And once again, I'm doing this pretty much every day, but I'm only streaming Monday through Friday. Maybe I'll stream on a weekend on my Patreon, something I'm thinking about doing. That might be a Patreon exclusive, but definitely don't think I'm going to ever really be streaming on the weekend. It's only going to be on a weekday, and starting from 1 o'clock, could end it from anywhere between 3 to 4 or 5. I don't know. I am going to do a random stream this week of the new artwork that I'm pushing out for my comic Reborn Daughter, that I'm going to upload on the 1st of next month. So I'll be working on it. I think it would be really cool to just stream it, just to show you guys some actual, me doing some actual artwork and putting all of this practice and applying it into, a piece of art. But when am I going to do it? I don't know. That's kind of up in the air. I don't. Probably gonna be towards the end of the day. Definitely, I won't do it in the big, earlier in the day like I'm doing with the sketches right here. But yeah, if you want to get notified to when I go live, just follow me on whichever platform you're viewing the stream at, and you'll get a notification when I do actually stream and work on this artwork, just so you can get a look at the process. And if you have any questions, that would be good too. um, and yeah, so this has been another day of practice, and as I always say, don't forget to practice. Please practice every day, all the time, if you can, and if you can't, work little by little towards it. Okay? And that's all from me today. This has been Taro Tifuyao, signing out.